America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
All right, let's talk about getting out of the grind. Getting rid of stuff that sucks energy and staying in place where you're getting energy.
So most people never get out of the service truck, and it's because they don't have clarity on what they're actually needing to delegate off. So this is something that I'm currently doing right now. This is something I've done in the past, and I recommend probably every year, if not every 6 months, you should do this, because this is going to allow you to have more clarity of where your time's going. So I'm literally setting my timer in 2-hour blocks, Monday through Friday, when I set up for typical work days for myself. And every 2 hours, I sit there and write down what I did in the past 2 hours. So 8 to 10. When it hits 10 o'clock, I write down everything I did. I don't care if it's going to the bathroom, I've wrote down there pooped. And then I've got it in there because I want to know. Yeah, I need to know what I'm doing. So now I get to audit my time, know if I was productive in that time, but I'm also sitting here and I'm producing a list at the end of the week so that I can assign a smiley face, a frowny face, or a dollar sign. The dollar signs mean it's going to produce new revenue for me. The smiley face means it gives me energy. The frowny face means it takes energy away. Even if it's neutral, I'm putting the frowny face next to it. So at the end of the week, I'm actually going to do a 2-week period, might even take it into 3 or 4 weeks if I feel like I need that time span. But I'm telling most people, just do a week. Set a timer on your phone, take the notepad inside of your phone, or if you sit at a desk, write it on the pad, and then write down everything you did in the 2 hours. Assign those assignments next to it, a dollar sign, the frowny face or the smiley face, and then at the end of the week, look and see what brought you energy, what you liked, what you don't like, what kind of saps your energy, and what is revenue producing. Now you've got a list of things that you know you can start to try to delegate. So the question is how do we set this delegation up?
You know all the things that you like and what you don't like. So now you grab all those things you don't like. Just pick one. Pick one easy, and then write out how to do that task. So I do 2 things. I'll take a Google document. I like an editable one because you're going to go in there and change it. And you're going to write it for a 12-year-old to understand. Some of you guys have 12-year-old kids, you know, you gotta break it down for them.
Absolutely.
So write it down super simple. Make it so that it's so good you're never gonna have to rewrite it. You can edit it a little bit, okay? Then you take that document, so it could be on how to invoice, how to do in QuickBooks. Keep it under 3 pages.
Yeah.
Keep it basic, boom, boom, bulletins, so easy for somebody to read. Then go on and do it on your computer. This is for a task on the computer. Do a Loom video of you doing it, pull that document up, and you're talking about the document. So now you have a Loom video and that document. You have 2 links. Mm-hmm. Keep it in a spreadsheet, you essentially have a manual for that thing. Now you can go off and do it. And if it's in the field and it's something you hate doing certain things in the field, take your iPhone, take your Samsung, do a video of it. It doesn't have to be this great thing.
Right.
Keep it 90 seconds. Maybe there's 3 or 4 videos. Put them on YouTube, your own private channel. Boom, boom, boom. Have your videos on there. Anybody can watch it.
You're building a whole library of training manuals and videos.
I have literally hundreds of these things now. And then you can send it to somebody before they go do it. So we all know this. If you need something to do in your car and you're trying to figure out why is my heat not working, you go to YouTube.
Right.
That's essentially like this. Right. I'm just handing it off to employees. It's giving them a start. And if that person, now you have a manual, you have the document, you have the Loom video, and if that person quits on you, moves on, whatever, you have somebody else. Or if it's going to be more than one person doing it, it's a service where you're going to have 8 or 10 people. You got a document. Now the person that learned off this document can also help the new person do it.
And here's what I like about it also is the onboarding process is a much more inviting environment for a new hire. Think about you're coming into a brand new environment. You've got new activities, new personalities you've got to meet. And when you're given a manual that you can sit there and watch videos on, you can read a document on, it's just that much more of an invite for someone to say, we've prepped and we've made it as the most successful as it can possibly be for you to ramp up and have a lot of success inside this business?
Because there's anxiety when somebody starts a new job. They don't know what they're doing. They want to do a good job. They want to know. You got to give them some type of manual. So one thing I do for callers, for just one business, I have document on that, and it has all these links. So it tells them what we're doing, who we're calling, what we're saying, kind of the call script, and in there it has links to actual calls, so they can listen in like, okay, I see what he's doing, I read the document, it's doing it. It has videos of guys cleaning gutters so they can visualize, this is what we do. I have a drone thing, it shows a bird's eye view, like this is what one of our complex does. And then I tell them all the things they never thought they'd ever care about or know.
Right.
Why do we do it this way? So now it's like they're getting all this background information. And I'll say, hey, watch it 2 or 3 times. That's what I want you to do from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. the first day. Just watch this stuff and keep watching it. By lunchtime, they're like, all right, I get what this guy's doing. I get this, I can do this. I've heard calls, I see the script, I understand what the service is, I understand why it's good. I even have a whole document of what are our advantages, what's better about us, all these different things. So it gives them a lot of confidence, and then they can get into actual manuals of, hey, here's the call script, this is your call thing, and then who's gonna show them to get there. I mean, within a day, they're ready to roll.
So now that we've identified what needs to be delegated off, now that we've got our manuals and we're kind of set up to actually be able to train, and I believe this is where most people miss the boat, and that's why they're so unsuccessful with their hires, is because they really don't have an onboarding process, a training process. How do we find these individuals? What should we be looking at to know that we're bringing someone in that is going to actually be able to take on what we're delegating?
Well, you can do this all at once. So you can, when you're interviewing, you want resourceful people, you want people with really good attitudes, and you want people with a history of not necessarily doing that task, but doing similar tasks and being successful. Somebody else thought they did a good job.
Right.
They gave them a review and they're saying, yeah, this person was really good at it. When a person has no references and no reviews, they're pretty much, somebody else realized they're not good at this, and now it's going to become your problem. What were they doing for the last 6 months? Were they playing Xbox and waiting for a job to come to them? Or did they just leave? I love when people I just left. When I hire virtual assistants, one of the questions I always ask, are you available now? And they'll say, yeah, I just left last Wednesday, or I have to give 2 weeks notice. Whatever their deal is, I like that. If they were like, yeah, I haven't been doing anything for a year.
Yeah, no. I'm super ready. Matter of fact, that ended the conversation. If they've been sitting for a year, they have zero ambition, and it is almost always not going to work out. And I've done it.
Guys who work for me in the field, and I say, give me a reference, and then I say, when did you work for this guy? And they're like, oh, I think it was 2021. I said, who did you work for in fall of 2023 if I was hiring? And they don't want to tell you that because they had a bad experience with that guy. So you want to have people with really good attitudes. How do you know if they're resourceful? I always put people like a task.
Give them a project.
I give them a project. I say, hey, this is something that happened. It's a real life thing. How would you solve that with you? And it might just be, I'd go to Google, I would do this, I do this, and you can see. And if somebody's not willing to give you a little paragraph on how they do it, they're not resourceful. They either can't be bothered, but most likely they don't know the answer.
Yeah.
And you can see somebody, you'll read that and you'll be like, yeah, this person's resourceful. Then when I hire them, I give them small projects in the beginning. I want to see how they do. I say, hey, I really like you. I think I want to do it. This is what I want to do. I'm going to give you this project. It's going to take you about 4 hours. I need it done by Friday. Do it. It's like a homework assignment. And sometimes I give it to 2 people. We just did it, right? And then you say like, wow, that person did a great job, or they didn't.
So I don't have enough cash flow in my head. I don't have enough money to hire someone right now. How do you answer that?
How to find that person?
No, I don't have enough money right now. This person is going to cost me. I mean, you can't find a good person in my market for less than $20 an hour. How do I get past that? Let's say that this is answering the phone, this is putting customers, sending invoices, anything that's not physically on site doing the work.
It's a mindset thing. It's somebody thinking it's an expense instead of an investment. So like getting an executive assistant or somebody who's going to answer your phone and do all these things. I looked at it like that at one point. You're like, man, I'm going to pay them back then $10 an hour. Wait, that's $400. So if I'm making $900, wait, I'm going to make $500.
Right.
That's not how I do it. You have to look at them like, because this person's going to do this, I'm going to be able to do this. And I'm going to be paying them $20 an hour, but that's going to allow me to generate. And you've already done this system of figuring out what's your revenue producing things, and then you double down on those. So that might be as simple as giving you more time to knock on doors, more time to call property managers, more time to do affiliate things, and then you spend your energy doing that, and you will watch their pay.
And you're not paying $40,000 a year tomorrow. You're paying $800 a week. And that $800 a week gets broke down into days and into hours. But also, you've got a whole nother way that you've built business, and that was off of virtual assistants. So anything that doesn't physically, let's say you're gutter cleaning, okay? So you can't get a virtual assistant to actually get on the roof and clean the gutters. But what about all of the work that probably got stuck as a frowny face on this log that you've created over the last week?
Get rid of that.
You get rid of that, and most of that is remote work. So what are you doing with virtual assistants? Give me an idea of what that's looking like and what that's costing me.
Call customers, answer phones, answer every one of my emails. I get hundreds of emails. I personally answer about 2 a day. Invoicing, doing proposals, pricing things out, going back and forth with people, make sure that it's this many buildings or that, like all this stuff. I'm totally out of it, right? That frees up so much time. So if I was still in the field and I got energy out of being in the field and building teams and showing people how to do it, I actually did it. That's how I had my first assistant. I'm like, man, I gotta get rid of all this shit I'm doing at night that I don't get energy from. And then I was building better teams because that's where my energy was. So whatever it is, but I also like to make deals. I like getting on the phone and talking to regional managers and closing big whales. Some people are like, I don't want to do that.
Delegate it.
I have people who she says, I don't know how you just call people and do all that. I wouldn't want to do that. Or they don't want to be on camera or whatever. But I look at her job and I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do QuickBooks. I don't want to do invoicing.
Me neither.
But everybody, you never know what you get no energy from, somebody else does. That's the greatest thing. So you just match up the people. They have a great attitude. They want to do that. And then I can make so much more money contacting people, building relationships, making deals, building teams out. That's my skill set. Why would I be doing something that essentially you could pay somebody $12 an hour to do? And they're better than you. So
here's the thing though. You have gone over to the Philippines using Upwork, and we've got a podcast that talks about the virtual assistant, so everybody can search that out if they want more detail on this. We also talk about it in our private mentoring groups. But you go overseas to the Philippines and you can find $6, $7 an hour paid virtual assistants, and $6 and $7 an hour is probably comparable to $17, $18 an hour here in the States. So you're paying someone very good, producing a very nice living for someone over in the Philippines that has a different work ethic because their culture is different. They have not been Americanized like it is here in America with this entitlement mentality. They work very hard, and you're removing the stuff that sucks your energy, and it's costing you less than what you actually thought it was going to be, where you're thinking, man, to get somebody to do this, it's $18 an hour, and I can't afford this 18. But what about $6 or $7 an hour? I mean, the whole point is get clarity and stop making excuses.
The cost of it is so much better, but also when you have a virtual assistant, doesn't matter if they're in the Philippines or if they were in North Carolina, you can unplug it much easier. When you put somebody in your office, you're like kind of obligated to keep them busy. I did this. I used to have people come to my home back in the day, answer calls, and they really had 15 hours worth of real work. And I was keeping them busy. I felt it it annoyed me. I want somebody who goes in there, if they don't work out, I'll unplug it, say, hey, appreciate it, it's not working out. But basically everybody I've had in Philippines has worked out.
Yeah.
What happens is I end up giving them more and more, and then they move up, and then they manage people under them. You can get rid of all those things.
This right here is how you're going to be able to have the bandwidth, the brain power to work on your business instead of working in your business.
Yeah.
And you got to get clarity to be able to know what to delegate. And then you got to pull the trigger and stop being so scared, because when you get that time back, you're bringing new deals in, or you're out there training and empowering your team so that you can expand your team so you can do more jobs. Your time will get stuck on something that produces more revenue, and the revenue will be more than what this delegation has cost you.
Like one job I did for a long time was scheduling. I'm in all these different states, you have different weather issues. At the time, sometimes I didn't have enough subcontractors, so you have to put them all in place. And I taught one of my top VA, she enjoys it. She does scheduling now. She spends about 20 hours a week doing it. I essentially bought back 20 hours of draining ass work that I was doing. And it's not like I'm sitting around doing nothing. What do? I just go out and buy another business.
Yeah.
And make deals. And like, if you look at what I'm paying her for that $20, say that cost me $300. She's a high paid virtual assistant at 15. I mean, I make so much more than
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, way more. I'm getting energy, and I like it.
As you delegate, you elevate.
But you know what I used to do with the scheduling? I would like push it off all day because I don't want to do it. I just feel like I want to get other things. The next thing I know, it'll be 5 o'clock, and I'd be doing it from 5 to 9. And she's doing it, 8 in the morning. She's done at 11:30. She goes the opposite. She likes doing it. She likes like
gives energy.
the puzzle and the thing. Doesn't matter. I don't need to know why she likes it.
That's awesome.
I just know she does.
Look, next week we're going to be talking about knowing your numbers and your marketing. So make sure you tune in. Every single week these episodes are dropping. Kevin, I love to see the Blue Collar Millionaire tribe grow and comment and take this information. Everyone that's listening, if you are wanting more hands-on, then check out our Blue Collar Boardroom Elite group. This is where it's weekly Zooms with me and Kevin, a private Facebook group where you get Q&A available. Then you can also check out, if you're not ready for a $500 a month commitment, then check out our Blue Collar Millionaire Accelerator group. This is a private Facebook group where we're dripping courses broke down in detail so that you guys can work at your own pace as you implement this stuff. And you also get access to me and Kevin as well every other week. And the questions and answers, you guys get around the right information, get around someone that believes in you, take the borrowed belief, and let's see you hit the Blue Collar Millionaire status in net, not revenue, and beyond.